been a couple weeks since I did a video, so today we are going to make a taste like beef meatless loaf. So everything you see here is what you need. I'll put that in the detail description. We have Chef Niva's sea salt, which is in a grinder, pepper. We have dehydrated garlic, tastes like beef TVP, dehydrated onions, Chef Niva's chili seasoning. We have an egg replacer, lightly salted organic, breadcrumbs, and Chef Niva's tomato seasoning, which can be used, as today's recipe calls for, ketchup. Okay, here we're going to add 2 cups of Taste Like Beef TVP to a measuring cup. I have this huge glass bowl out. I'm going to end up putting all my units, the whole recipe together in this bowl. Next step is we want to do a broth, because we have to rehydrate that. So we want 1.5 cups of water and the broth of our choice. Today I'm going to use the chili seasoning and a little bit of my Taste Like chicken, alright, because I just ran out of my Taste Like beef. But if you want more of a beefier tasting broth to rehydrate that TVP in, you're going to want to taste like beef, okay? But you can use basically whatever you feel you're comfortable with. I'd rather you guys use the Taste Like beef or the Taste Like chicken, basically because it's lower in sodium. So on to the next step. Okay, so here is 1.5 cup of water. We're going to add that to a little pot here, and then add our seasoning into it. Okay, so here is the chili season. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of that, as well as 1 teaspoon of the Taste Like chicken. Remember, it's just a seasoning that we're working with here. We don't really have to use the Taste Like chicken. It's just since I ran out, that's what I have to use. Okay, we're going to get 1 teaspoon of this next. Alright, so here's 1 teaspoon of our Taste Like chicken season. Put that in. And what you want to do is get what I call an old-fashioned whisk. It's better than anything. Okay, as you can see, things are going to start to be put together. You guys hear some noise in the background. It's my dishwasher running today. Today is the day of rest. We went to church. And now it's time to cook up a nice Sunday meal. We're going to throw that on a high temperature. Once it starts to boil, take it right off the burner, and you're going to apply it to your TVP. But don't worry, I'm going to make sure you guys see every step I do here. Okay, as our broth starts to boil, we're going to take that off and let it sit over there for a few minutes. While that's going, we're going to start actually rehydrating our onions and our garlic. I like to use a cheesecloth. Keeps everything intact. When you're ready to use it, all you do is simply open it up and drop it in your meal. We're going to get the hot water rolling right now. See if this is hot enough. Alright, good to go. Rinse that soap out. Alright. Now what we're going to do here, fill this up. Okay, take this over here. And now what we're going to do, simply put our dehydrated items on that cheesecloth. You can use as much as you want. I don't use a certain amount. I just kind of go with the flow. Now I'm going to add that garlic. Okay, if you guys don't rehydrate this, what happens is it just dries up and none of the actual oils will come out from it. So you're better to rehydrate this in some water for a few minutes, and then it'll retract back to its normal range. And I'll be right back. Alright, I added a little elastic string, food safety, that is. You want to make sure everything is safe. And I'm going to let that sit for a good 5 to 10 minutes until it gets soft again. And then all you simply do is just take your cheesecloth out, let it all drain, just like that. And you can even squeeze it and get more of the juice out and then throw in your meal. On to the next step. Now that the TVP is ready to be rehydrated, I'm going to use just a little bit of my Italian seasoning that I've created. This is something that I'm actually going to bring out down the line, but right now I got too much other items I got to bring out. So I'm going to add some Italian seasoning to this. You want to make sure that you get some nice seasonings through this, because when it's cooking, it's going to cook those seasoning right into it. Everybody knows I like a little spice. Throw some Chef Niva red pepper flakes in there. Not too much, just to give a little kick. A little oil, a little bit of that capsaicin oil in there. Wake up tomorrow after eating this and you'll feel 100% skinnier. Then you're going to get a nice little spoon out so you can fold that in there. Got a little wooden spoon, and here goes the juice. Okay, make sure everybody comes out. And what we're going to do here is kind of fold it in, make sure everybody gets all wet. Okay, this is how you're going to rehydrate your meat. Now, I'm only using 2 cups. I normally say do 3.5 if you have a larger family, but it's just the 2 of us, so we're going to go with a little small amount of it tonight. Okay, and what you're going to do here is you're going to let this sit for 15 minutes so it absorbs all that liquid. Okay, in 15 minutes and I'll be back. Okay, so what I did was I added my salt and pepper to this. It's pretty much done now. As you can see, it looks like real ground beef, but it's not. Okay. I think in a week or 2 I'm going to come out with how to make hamburgers out of this. I finally wrapped my head around it and got it going. So mix that up real well. And the next thing we're going to do is to make sure that we add our dehydrated garlic and onions to it. And I'm going to have to unravel this one so I can show you how to do it. Now your garlic and onion has already been rehydrated and it's ready to go into your format of your recipe. And what I'm going to do is one-handed, do apologize, this is the best I can get you, is to unravel it. Slide in there. And that's all ready to go. See it? Okay, and then just simple dump. Make sure there's nobody left behind. And you can simply throw that cheesecloth out afterwards. You don't want to reuse it. It's not like a baby's old diaper, you know. Just kidding. Okay. Put that off to the side. And then you can get your spoon and get in there, but what we're going to do is take the spoon out. And we're going to use our hands. There you go. Get in there. Use your hand. Mix all that together. And it's clumping up good enough already, but we're still going to put an egg replacement in it because I still want to put the breadcrumbs in it. Okay. Mix that all up real good. Get the sides. Okay, now comes the egg replacement, and I'll show you guys how to do that. This is a brand that I like to use. It's gluten-free too. Basically, you take 2 teaspoons to 2 tablespoons of hot water and mix it together. And that's what we're going to do next, but I just have to change my glove out, okay? Be right back. Okay, so the egg replacer is all ready. Okay, then we're going to dump that in there. And then we're going to mix that all together again. Okay, now the egg replacer's in there, and what we're going to do is mix that all together. Now, I used to make real meatballs back in the day. And meatloaf. Now, this doesn't feel too wet to me, so I'm going to just add a little bit more water to it. It's a little dry. And this is what usually happens with TVP, is even though you rehydrate it with the correct amount of water, it usually sucks all the water up and starts to get a little dry. But if you look at it, you can start forming somewhat of a meatball, but you need it more water than that to add your breadcrumbs to it. So I'm going to add some more water to that. I'll be right back. Okay, so there it goes. Now, this is ready for your breadcrumbs. You just want a little bit. Start out with a small amount. Move it together. As soon as you start feeling the texture, turn to where you can turn it into a meatball. Actually compact it into a meatball, then it's ready to be going in its loaf pan. So let's add the breadcrumbs now. Okay, I made a last minute decision. I wanted to put some green in it to give it a nice color, but I decided to add a little bit of my spinach flakes. They are dehydrated, and they'll rehydrate real quickly in this once you put it together, but it'll give it some nice green in the middle. Mix that all the way around. Can't wait to get my new setup to do my videos. This way I won't have to work with one hand. Now, let's see. That looks really good. Okay. And now it's time to throw it in the loaf pan. I'll be right back, guys. Alright, so we want to make sure that we coat our pan. I brought out my big old Butcher Boy coconut oil container today. Let's turn that around. See that? Alright, it's a big guy. Let's flip around back to the other way. So I lined the sides with it, and now I'm going to get ready to throw this bad boy in there. And then we'll show you the finishing touches. And then I'll show you what my dinner looks like at the end. Alright, before I show you guys how to make the take the tomato powder and make it out of a tomato ketchup, we're going to see about our sides. So tonight we're going to do our dehydrated potatoes and our dehydrated green beans. These will be coming out this week, guys. The other thing too is we have our beet powder and our spinach powder coming out, which I use for my smoothies every day. So keep an eye out on that. The labels came in this week. Actually, they are coming in this week. So we're looking at a Wednesday drop off of the labels, and then we're going to start packaging and getting this stuff going. But a lot of dehydrated vegetables are coming your way. So keep an eye on the website. It's chefniva.com. Now, I poke holes in my meatloaf because I want my tomato taste like ketchup to go hit in the center. We want flavor. Remember, flavor. Different variation of flavors. We don't want the whole thing to taste like the same thing, so that's why I poke the holes. So when you slice it, you get a little bit of it in the middle. So on to doing our taste like ketchup without using a squeeze bottle or a jar. We're making this stuff fresh. Okay, so I'm starting out with 1/4 cup of the powder, and it's going to look like this. And I already have my water off to the side, so you basically, what you want to do is, it depends on what thickness you want it, okay? So I'm going to pour this in, and you want to do a little bit at a time, and then get your spoon and start to mix it around, and you're going to start seeing it thicken up. Now that's great for a tomato paste, so if you need a tomato paste, you can use even the tomato powder as a paste. I'm going to add a little bit more water. Just get that all mixed up in there. Okay, once again, it's thick like a paste. So you just keep adding the water until your thickness comes of how you like it. Some people like it thin, some people like it thick. Whatever your preference is what you can work with. I like it a little thinner than that. Okay, now let's say you over thin it, right? You can always grab more powder and thicken it back up. Exactly what you do. Okay. So that's getting to the point where I like it. Not too thin, not too thick. Now, how I sweeten this up is I use a coconut palm sugar. So I'm going to add some of that to it. Just going to add just a little bit more water because the coconut palm is going to thicken it up a little bit on me. Okay, now while that water's sitting there, you want to grab the sugar of your choice. Me, I like my coconut palm. Let's see if I can open this with one hand. Ain't gonna work. Alright, let's do it this way. Okay, I got it now. Alright, so I'm going to add a pinch of this to the ketchup. Okay. Now, let's see how this is going to work out. Now it's starting to get to the texture I want it. And remember, I got to fill these holes. See the holes? Okay. You can do what you want with your guys's, but this is how I'm going to do mine. This is how I like to do mine. Now, the other thing too is you normally want to add a little Worcestershire sauce to it. Once again, I'm out. I don't have much time to shop anymore these days because I'm doing back-to-back shows. So I'm going to add a little A1 to it. I'll be right back. Okay, so I add a little A1 to it. I'm going to mix that together. And what you want to do is make sure you taste this before you put it all on your meatloaf to see if it's to your satisfaction. Now, I don't really like real thick ketchup or thick salsa or thick spaghetti sauce. So this is just right for my texture. Now, I'm allowed to do this because I'm the chef. Now, this recipe right here, and I knew this was going to happen, call for a little garlic powder, okay? Okay, so the ketchup, homemade ketchup that is done. And some of you, if you guys really like your stuff real sweet, like I said earlier, you can use granulated white sugar, but I don't really like a lot of sweet stuff, so I just stick with my coconut palm. Alright, so here you go. This is a funnel, and this is how I like to fill my holes. Okay, so I'll just dump some of that ketchup and watch it kind of float down. And then I'll bring it out to release the air. And voila. There's your hole filled. And then I'll go to the next one. Okay, so let me fill these and I'll be right back, guys. Okay, so we got the holes filled. Now it's time for you to finish the topping. So just take your ketchup and just smear it all over the place. Ooh, just like that. Potatoes are doing good. They're cooking right now. Alright, spread that. Get by everybody. Okay. Now if you do have any runoffs, an accident spill. You want to make sure you clean that up because it's going to burn in the oven. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this. And I'm going to cook it on 350 for 45 minutes. But the last 15 minutes I'm going to take the cover off of it. Okay. So that this homemade ketchup gets caramelized. Alright, well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's recipe. Remember, clean as you go. No dishes at the end of cook time, because usually if it's us ladies, we don't have anybody to help us. Alright, clean as you go. And I'll do a snapshot of this when it's all completed, along with the green beans and the potatoes that are cooking right now. And remember, you don't have to dice these guys. You don't have to peel the skin off of it. It's all done for you. All you do is throw it in some water, boil it till they become tender, and then take them to any kind of system that you are going to use, as a blender, a food masher, potato masher, whatever the hell you want to call it. Alright, I'm not going to use logistic terms here as a chef normally would. I'm myself, and I just do what I feel. Alright guys, thanks, and keep an eye out. There'll be more recipes coming. I hope you enjoyed. Have a blessed night.